Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video of a new series that I'm planning to do called How to Make a Home Security System. In this video, I'm just going to go through the overview of some of the key pieces of hardware or software you'll need. And I'm not going to give specific recommendations because I don't want to get sued and everyone's uses will vary. But this is just a super high level view of the main things that you're going to need. First is cameras, and basically the goal of the cameras is obviously to be able to video record things that are going on. Sometimes just motion is fine, sometimes you want them on all the time. That depends on your use case. Software. You're going to need some form of software. Depending on your storage solution, you're going to need some form of software that actually does the capturing, right, to connect to the cameras that you get. And it depends on storage because there are a few kinds of storage solutions. DVR and NVR are just kind of off-the-shelf solutions. You've probably heard of DVR if you, well, I don't know, if maybe if you're my age, you're a cord cutter like I am, so you don't have cable. But if you at one point had cable, like maybe your parents had a DVR that could record some of the shows for them. And NVR is just kind of like a more modern, I guess, digital version of a DVR. And sometimes they're used interchangeably, and that's fine. The point is that those are kind of off the shelf solutions that can record video from your cameras just on their own without extra configuration or software from you. In that case, the only software you would need is on whatever devices you want to be able to view the camera feeds from. So after that is WAN access. Do you want to be able to access this from the WAN, or basically the public internet? So if you're sitting in Starbucks drinking a coffee after the pandemic is over, are you going to be wanting to see the cameras around your house? If the answer is yes, then it might be worth investing the time and energy in finding a secure way to get access. If the answer is, well, no, but it might be nice, then it might not be worth it. And if the answer is no, I definitely don't recommend doing it because it is a problem for the next thing, which is security. If you personally can view a camera feed of your house or your yard or whatever from the public network, it is a very big security issue potentially, because you have to have software that is very well maintained and keeping it up to date to make sure that any security holes that are discovered are patched. And there can always be security holes that can't be patched or aren't known. So for me, because I am relatively big on security, despite the fact that I'm putting my face on the internet, I am not super comfortable with WAN access because it is a very carefully navigable, I guess, area of security along with your cameras. Your cameras can actually impact your security because cameras can maybe the firmware on them, the software that the cameras come with, not the software that you choose as part of your home security system. The software the cameras come with can do things like what's called phoning home, where they report location, or even worst case, they literally just send the video feed off of your network to somewhere else for somebody else to record too, without your knowledge or consent. And the last thing I'm going to talk about as part of this deeper series is wiring. You need to think about how you're going to wire these cameras and all of the various devices that you're going to need together, and where you're going to run your cabling and how you're going to run your cabling to try and keep the cables secure and relatively safe from the elements, rain, wind, and temperature swings. as well as keep them from getting damaged. For example, there can be sufficient electrostatic discharge from a lightning strike, like a small number of miles away, to screw up a camera feed. Not necessarily to completely fry a camera, but to create a momentary blip in a camera feed. As you get closer, it gets more and more likely to actually hurt the camera or something else connected to your network if you're not careful. And if you, of course, take a direct lightning strike, there's not much that can save the camera, obviously. But with any luck, maybe if you were to take a direct lightning strike on the camera, which is extremely rare, and I'm not necessarily saying you should be concerned about, but if you were to take a direct lightning strike, maybe you can put enough layers of defense in your network that you're unlikely to lose every piece of hardware connected to that, only some things. And honestly, in the example of a direct lightning strike, it's just kind of luck, and you're unlikely in regular consumer grade hardware, computer hardware, you're fairly unlikely to actually have um, a lot of things survive that predictably. Uh, though luck is a factor in just about everything. So, anyway, that's an overview of what you need for a security system. But in several upcoming videos, I'm going to talk more about each of these things in detail because a lot of them do have a fairly high degree of detail on them that's worth elaborating on. So, stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.